As we move into fall, it's a great time to get your health goals on track with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Eating and feeling better is so easy with Factor's menu of chef-crafted meals. And with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto, you'll find great meals to fit your personal lifestyle. I don't know about you, but for me, when things get hectic, eating a healthy meal is one of the first things that slips through the cracks. With Factor meals in my fridge, I know I'm only 2 minutes away from a delicious, restaurant-quality meal that I can feel good about. With no more shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up, there are no more excuses. Make today the day that you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? Head to factormeals.com/rabbithole50 and use code rabbithole50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code rabbithole50 at factormeals.com/rabbithole50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
I was forgotten, and you reached out to me.
As Jesus says, whatever you do for the least of these, you do unto me. Support a child in his name through Compassion International at compassion.com/unto me.
Let's see. I could go casual chic or dress for success.
With so many looks, picking out what to wear can be difficult. But with Walmart, picking out a fresh pair of glasses is easy.
Maybe it's an athleisure day.
That's because Walmart has top brands and styles for you to choose from. So it's easy to find the right frames for whatever you're feeling.
Here's my outfit of the day and the perfect pair of cat-eye frames to match.
New glasses to make your styles pop. Welcome to your Walmart. Valid prescription required.
High Five Casino lets you play your favorite slot and live table games like blackjack with the chance to redeem for real cash prizes. High Five Casino has a giant selection of over 1,200 games, including hundreds of exclusive games only found on High Five Casino. It's always free to play, and free coins are given out every 4 hours. Ready to have your own high five moment? Visit highfivecasino.com. That's casino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to our paranormal afterlife. This is episode 143 of Paranormal Stories. This episode I'm reading from Claudia Watts Edge's book, Gifts from the Edge, Lessons from the Other Side. When I have guests on my podcasts, I read their books to work out questions for the episodes. When reading these books, I always find such amazing information that never makes it into the podcast. And here, I get a chance to give you a peek into the book. I've put a link to the book in the show notes, and I did seek permission to record this extract, and the author kindly said yes. So I'm going to read a section that describes her near-death experience, and this occurred while she was having an emergency C-section. And this is what Claudia has written. So, this is the tunnel I had heard about. Everything closes inward from both the front and the sides, creating a tunnel, and I was slowly being pulled backwards as it formed. I could hardly see anything now, but as I lost one sense, the others amplified in strength. My hearing became acute. This sense was supercharged, and I could hear everything within the entire hospital. Machines beeping noises, people talking, and phones ringing. I could hear it all. I heard the doctor say the baby had drowned. The blood that fed and warmed her as she grew had now brought a horrible end, and I could not take much more. My anguish at the loss of my baby was more intense than the physical pain. I focused on some music, hearing it as easily as if it had been played on a loudspeaker. It was the theme song from the television show MASH, the Suicide is Painless song, and I knew it had to be about 10:35 because MASH always followed the 10 o'clock news. Realising it was 10:35 in the midst of all that was going on all around me was crazy, but I noted the fact that my baby had died, and now I was dying while I listened to music, and it was 10:35 in the evening. The faint tugging at me had now turned into a pulling feeling, and as I moved backwards into the darkened tunnel the walls had made, I popped out of my body. It was easy, a soft pop, like the air in a child's pop gun toy, pop and out. It felt perfectly normal to leave my body on the table behind me. The scene was gruesome, and I no longer wanted to look at it, and I became more interested in finding out where the music was coming from. I found myself floating into the adjacent waiting room, and I could see my husband sitting with his head down as he worked on the insurance forms. I felt bad that he had no idea what was going on behind the closed doors, and that my family would soon learn our fate. This was going to be hard on them all, but it was also more than I could conceive of at the time, and so I continued on my way across the ceiling. I was busy figuring out this new floating thing, and soon found myself in the open hallway. I paused next to the clock that hung out from the wall, and really focused on it. Yep, I was right. It was 10:35. I remember noticing the sticky dust on the very top of it where no one else could possibly see. You know, the dust that sticks to the top of the kitchen cabinets, no matter how much you try to clean them. I thought that this clock must have been there for a long time to have so much sticky residue attached to it. Strange thoughts, I know, but the fact that I was floating above everyone else was not lost on me. It was kind of fun. I continued on my way, my focus back on the music, and I found its source in a patient's room, an older man, sound asleep, his television left on. I hung out there for a few moments, finally realizing that he had no idea that I was there beside him, and I began to focus on what had happened to me and this new ability to float. I realized that I had died, but that I was not dead. What I was now was very much still me, and as I considered this, everything changed, and I found myself somewhere else. I was now in an expanse of nothingness, and in complete darkness, the kind of darkness where you can't see your hand in front of your face. It was thick, yet fluid-like, and it reminded me of the commercials showing a chocolatier pouring melted chocolate out of the pan, exposing its smooth, velvety richness. This is the closest I can come to an explanation of the darkness. It had substance. It was alive. But I was not afraid. It was a loving presence that held me and cradled me like a child. I was in the most comforting place of nothingness, where all thought and worries were erased. I was. That was it. I was. And that was enough. I had no reason to want anything more than this, and I stayed within the comfort of the darkness for what could have been an eternity. There were no time constraints there, although in Earth time my death would be measured in minutes. I had died. But the blood transfusions and the promising young doctor continued, and an earthly miracle brought me from this silence, and the morgue grey colour of physical death. I felt the tugging again. No, I'm so happy here. No, please, no, don't make me go back. There is total bliss in the expanse, and I could have stayed there forever. The tugging turned into a strong pull, and soon I was back in my body. The most extraordinary part of my re-entry was sound. The years of adjusting and desensitizing to noisy earth was gone. The filter had been wiped clean while I was in the void, and now just hearing a human voice seemed invasive to me. Claudia! Claudia! Come back now, wake up! I could hear the nurse calling out to me. The sound created an intrusive ripple of noise, eroding my blissful calm, and I had no interest in opening my eyes. I wanted to go back to the quiet of the darkness, and I kept my eyes closed in protest. The relentless calling of my name was so irritating that I finally answered just to make it stop. I told her that my baby was dead, and that I didn't want to wake up. It took a lot of coaxing and a Polaroid picture of my baby in the nursery to convince me to open my eyes and see for myself that my beautiful baby girl had been brought back to life, and that she needed me. Her life was being measured in minutes. If she made it an hour, then 3, and through the night, etc. Each milestone raised the likelihood of her making it. Her entry into the world had been rough. Now she would fight for every breath and endure hourly blood draws from the bottom of her tiny feet until they were completely raw. There was a question of how long she had been down, and so a bigger question loomed. Had she suffered any brain damage? This was a wait-and-see answer. I was told that my placenta had exploded, turning living tissue into shrapnel. I'm not completely sure if it was caused by the constant contraction I had suffered earlier in the day, but it had filled up with blood until it could not hold or endure any more. I was also told that it was a good thing that I had stayed close by, and that I would have certainly perished had I been en route, or even on the far side of the hospital for that matter. The thought of being at home with a midwife in this situation still terrifies me. I had followed my instincts, and I am grateful that the stars had aligned to create the best outcome for my family. The full explanation of the hows and whys of it all was woven in between pharmaceutical loopiness and sleep. But I did learn that I was in for a long, hard recovery and an eventual need for a full hysterectomy. As I recovered, vital replacement blood was supplied by wonderful volunteers. Each bag was a welcome sight, and as the new blood entered my veins, a completely opposite effect of what I had experienced while dying took hold. The room had become brighter and more vibrant, and the walls were moving back into their proper place. It really is life's blood, and I became a thirsty vampire in the need and wanting of it. The hospital staff had dubbed me Pioneer Woman, and I had quite a few visitors. Some were from the original team, including the intern, who had now quite a story to tell his peers. So today I was reading from Claudia Watts' Edge's book, Gifts from the Edge, Lessons from the Other Side. If you want to buy the book, there is info and a link in the show notes. A great way to support this podcast is to sign up on Patreon. On the Our Paranormal Afterlife Patreon, when you sign up for $6 a month, you get an extended episode every week. For $3 a month, you get an extended episode every month. There is also a $13.50 Patreon tier, where every week you get the extended episodes of Our Paranormal Afterlife and the Alien UFO podcast extended episodes. If you want to give the extended episodes a try, there is a 7-day free trial. Just go to patreon.com/Our Paranormal Afterlife, or click on the button on my homepage, pastliveshypnosis.co.uk. And just so you know, if you're a patron, you get a 25% discount when you book a past life regression session with me. And I'm offering a free consultation call, which can be booked on my website. And if you enjoy the podcast, please leave a review and be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or via your favourite podcast app to make sure that you don't miss out on any episodes. And thanks for listening.
I was forgotten, and you reached out to me.
As Jesus says, whatever you do for the least of these, you do unto me. Support a child in his name through Compassion International at compassion.com/unto me.
Let's see. I could go casual chic or dress for success.
With so many looks, picking out what to wear can be difficult. But with Walmart, picking out a fresh pair of glasses is easy.
Maybe it's an athleisure day.
That's because Walmart has top brands and styles for you to choose from. So it's easy to find the right frames for whatever you're feeling.
Here's my outfit of the day and the perfect pair of cat-eye frames to match.
New glasses to make your styles pop. Welcome to your Walmart. Valid prescription required.
High Five Casino lets you play your favorite slot and live table games like blackjack with the chance to redeem for real cash prizes. High Five Casino has a giant selection of over 1,200 games, including hundreds of exclusive games only found on High Five Casino. It's always free to play, and free coins are given out every 4 hours. Ready to have your own high five moment? Visit highfivecasino.com. That's high, the number 5, casino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply.